Let's talk about body parts, baby. Let's talk about you and me. Let's talk about sexual health. Hi everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Candy, and today we're going to talk about something very different than we usually do on this channel. We're going to talk about some sexual health and a procedure that I had done just yesterday. So I wanted to share with you my experience on my LEEP procedure and also how I got to even having to have that procedure and going forward as well. So if you're unaware what LEEP stands for, I'm going to put it right here, but it stands for Loop Electrosurgical Excision Procedure. And that means that they are going to take an electric loop and surgically cut away a portion of what they're going after and remove it where they can take it away for testing. So before I get into the procedure itself, I wanted to let y'all know a little bit of background on me and how we even got to this place where I needed to get a LEEP. So when I was 18, I had an abnormal pap and I found out that I had HPV, and I had to go get a colposcopy done to make sure that there was none of the abnormal cells that they found were precancerous in any way. We did that colposcopy. I was traumatized by it because I was only 18. I had never had anything done in that area. And it just, like, I remember calling my mom afterwards, hysterically crying. You're like, they hurt me. And just being really emotional. So when I hadn't had an abnormal pap in years, I mean, that was 12 years ago. I've had numerous paps since then, have had 2 children since then. So I really didn't think that it was going to flare up again. So back in October, I went for my yearly pap. They did the pap just like normal, like they always do, but this time it came back that I had some abnormal cells. So she told me we need to do another colposcopy. It's been years since you've had one done. We're just going to do one just to rule things out. If you don't know what a colposcopy is, they basically go up inside your cervix. They put either a vinegar solution or a betadine solution, something like that, on the cervix itself. And for my doctor, she used the vinegar, and the vinegar it shows up on the affected cells like white, and she looks through her fancy big binoculars really close at your cervix, looks at those abnormal cells, and if she sees any that are concerning, she can take a little biopsy of those cells and then send it off for pathology to see what's going on. So that colposcopy we did in early November. I actually had an appointment to get an IUD put in, and when I showed up for that appointment, they told me, no, we cannot do your IUD today because it actually showed that there was a significant amount of something in your biopsies, and we need to take a closer look at those, and we'll talk about them and see what we need to do. So on 3 of my 4 biopsies, I had CIN1, and on one of those 3, it was CIN1 and 2. And that, I'll put that what it means right here as well, and that's basically like what stage of dysplasia the cells are in. So 1 is mild, 2 is moderate, and 3 is considered severe. So I was in a 1-2. So I am in the mild to moderate range, which is actually very good because that means that we caught this early and it hasn't really started ramping up and turning into cancer. And yes, that's what dysplasia is the cells are going through a phase change before they get to cancer. Does this mean I have cancer right this moment? No, it does not. I do not have cancer. But if I ignore this, this is something that can turn into cervical cancer sometime in the future if we do not monitor it closely. When we did my HPV panel, I really wanted to know which markers I had, what types I had, and there are 2 types that cause cervical cancer, and then there are 2 types that are linked to warts. And I'm so glad that I do not have either one of those. If you've had HPV yourself and no one has ever explained this to you, you need to ask your doctor to do this on you and see what types that you have, where you will know what risk you are up against. So the ones that are linked to the warts is 6 and 11, and I do not have either one of those. And the 2 that are known to be linked to cervical cancer are 16 and 18, and I actually have both of those. When I was doing my research, there were a couple of other ones that were also linked to cervical cancer as well. There were 5 of them, and I have all 5 of them. So this is something that I definitely did not want to just ignore. I am not very good to my body, but that is something that is definitely going to change. In the past, if there was not something happening in my body that affected another person's body, like the baby growing inside of me, I really did not care what was going on with myself. But this I was not going to ignore. So I went in, talked to my doctor about all of the results they found on my biopsy, and me and my doctor both agreed that we felt comfortable doing the LEEP procedure now instead of waiting. So that's what we did. Yesterday, I had my LEEP procedure done. I was very, very nervous about it. I knew what to expect because I watched way too many YouTube videos. Gosh, please don't do that to yourself. But I'm one of those people, like, I want to be prepared. I want to know what they're going to be doing to me. So I watched a whole bunch of videos, and there's always going to be those bad videos out there that they're not doing it right. And those are the ones that freak you out. But I did find one that was like the procedure straightforward. I'll have it linked down below. If you're feeling brave, go watch it. But that's what they did to me. So like I said, I was very, very nervous about this procedure. I was actually so nervous that morning that I had horrible tummy problems. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to have like legs up in the syrup, and I'm going to poop in this lady's face, and then I'm going to have to get a gynecologist. I was so worried about so many things. And then by the time you wait in the hospital for hours for them getting ready for your surgery, you know, that anxiety goes away, hopefully. And my husband is really good at making the mood lighter, I guess, and just keeping the humor going. But as we were getting ready for the procedure, me and my husband were talking with the nurse, and he was telling her, like, oh, she's just being over dramatic. This isn't anything. It's not like it's cancer or anything. It's not a big deal. And without missing a beat, the nurse turns around and she's like, let's cut the end of your penis off and see how you feel about it. And I was like, that's right. Preach, girl. Preach. But this procedure was going to be something that was touching my womanhood and cutting away a piece of my womanhood. So I was very much in my head about this. With this procedure, there are risks of preterm labor and stuff like that happening. And with my last son, I did happen to have him 4 weeks early. So I knew that if I had this done, those chances are going to go up even more. I'm going to be considered a high-risk pregnancy if I get pregnant again. So there was a lot of stuff going through my head. Of course, I'm worried about what's going to happen after, but we're not going to cross that bridge till we come to it, and when I get those results, I will share them with you. But anywho, let's get to the LEEP and what that was all about. Honestly, I can't tell you much about it because I passed out. I was out. I've heard that some people do this like in office, like in their OB's office, with just like a local and just a little bit of anesthesia to calm you down. No, I am not a good candidate for that. I'm so glad that they knocked me out completely. Like, the anesthesiologist came in there and he's going over everything, and that's when I realized that I'm going to be out for this. And I was like, oh, I didn't know I was going to be asleep. Like, I thought I was going to be awake. And he's like, oh, I can talk to your doctor and see if you would, we can do a different kind of sedation on you. And I was like, no, that's okay. Put me to sleep. We like that idea. So they put me in this big puffy gown thing and hook a hose up to me because they said that they like to keep the body warm during this because it helps you heal better afterwards. I don't know. So I have my big puffy suit on. They put my big puffy suit on. They try to get IVs. I have bruises on both my hands. I told her that this hand, my veins roll really easily and that it's very hard to get it in this hand. She went after it anyways. Didn't work. So we went after it in this hand. And I've never had an IV be painful, but this one was painful. Like, every time they would flush it or push medicine through, it burned. Like, I would, stiffen up. Like, I don't know what she did wrong, but it wasn't in there right. So the only thing I remember from the actual procedure is they put an oxygen mask on me and told me to start taking 5 deep breaths. And I took 3 breaths, and I was like, man, like, this stuff isn't working at all. Like, I don't feel anything. Next thing I know, I'm waking up in a different room, and my hips, like, that's the first thing I noticed, is my hips were really sore. I'm guessing from, like, being up in the stirrups for a little while in that same position, because, like, I have, like issues with my hips. So my hips were killing me. I didn't feel any hurting in that area, no cramping or anything initially. After I started like moving around a little bit, it cramped very, very mildly, not bad at all. And I was able to get up, go to the bathroom by myself, almost get myself completely dressed. Like my husband helped me put my pants like over my feet to get them up, because I didn't. You're not supposed to bend over. And I didn't think that that was like a thing. I was like, bending over, like that's not gonna pull anything. Yeah, it does. Did you know that your bending over bone is connected to your vagina bone? Because I didn't. They did not talk about that in that song, but it is. So if you get this done, don't bend over, squat. But besides that, having to take it a little bit easy, I'm actually feeling pretty good today. I am crampy, but like mild crampy, not even like worst period kind of cramp. And some women did say that they bled afterwards. In my case, I've had no bleeding at all. So I'm hoping that continues as well. And I hope that all of this just continues to heal and gets better and we never have to do this again. So I do go back in 2 weeks to get my results. As soon as I have those results and understand them myself, then I will share them with you and let y'all know what is the next steps that we'll be taking, if any at all. Because if everything comes back clear, if all the margins are clear, so I have not asked my doctor exactly how much she took off, but I know that she took off like the top little portion of my cervix. So like the cervix they talk about as like a face of a clock. So like this is the face of the clock right here. And she took off a section at 1 o'clock. So I'm guessing from like here to here. And she said that she made 2 passes with that electric loop. So she shaved off 2 passes of tissue. And she's going to send those pieces of tissue off. They cut them up into a whole bunch of little pieces and test them. And if none of the affected cells are at the margins, which is the edges of the biopsy pieces, then they say that they got it all and everything should be fine. And I just come back for a routine pap. If that pap is clear, everything should be fine. If the margins are not clear, we might have to go to a specialist and get this done again. So since finding out that I have all this going on, I mean, even before this came up, I found out that I had a heart condition. I need to do an updated one on that one as well, because I did wearing a heart monitor and then I never told y'all what they said. So that might be a video coming up soon, but I did find out what is wrong with my heart. It's nothing really severe, but that made me kind of wake up and realize that I'm not treating my body very well, that I'm kind of dumping on it, and this is the only body I'm going to get, so I better take care of it. So I've been slowly taking care of myself, but after I'm healed from this, I'm going to hit it hard and we're going to get my body healthy, because I don't want to deal with this stuff anymore. I want to be here for my children. I want to be here for my husband. I want to be able to enjoy life while I'm here. And right now, I'm not able to do that at the current physical state that I'm at. So all of you wonderful mamas out there that come to me for my cleaning videos, you are going to have to wait just a couple of weeks for me to put one of those out, because I can't do anything really strenuous right now. So I cannot wait to come back on here and update y'all about this, guys. I really hope that it is all good news, and then we never have to talk about it ever again. But the number one thing that I wanted you to take away from this video today is get your pap smears. Worry about your health, because no one else is gonna. You need to go and check on yourself every single year. Ladies, if you are sexually active, men, if you are sexually active, you need to be going to your doctor regularly and getting checked, because HPV can affect men just like it can women. So that's my public service announcement for the day. I hope y'all take it to heart, because it is serious. Go out there, ladies. Take this seriously. Spread your legs open for those gynos. You'll be happy that you did. And I'll see you on the next one, guys. Bye.